Hey, in this video, we're going to take a look at the Hue Tap and Hue Dimmer. Now, these are two devices that you can connect to your Hue wireless lighting network that allow you to control your lights in the event that your phone or tablet are not available. They have slightly different form factors, with the rounded Hue Tap on the left and the more traditional light switch looking dimmer on the right. And despite having 4 buttons and a slightly different shape, they actually perform differently. We're going to drill down to see how, so you can make a more informed decision when deciding which of these you want to add to your system. First up is the Hue Tap. It has a nice round modern design. It has 4 buttons and a removable back plate. So if you want to mount this on a wall, you can. Just twist and pull, and that back plate comes right off. It has some double-sided sticky tape and 2 holes for screw mounting. Additionally, no power or wire mounting is necessary to drive this unit. In fact, there's not even a battery in it. The 4 buttons convert mechanical energy into the electrical energy needed to communicate with the wireless bridge. That's why you see the whole face of the Hue Tap moving when you press down on any of the buttons. It's a pretty clever implementation that'll assure you'll never have to worry about replacing the batteries in this thing. It's also the reason why it's considerably thicker than the dimmer you'll see later that is battery operated. Programming the device is dead simple. Inside the Hue app, you go to your settings and you select the device after you've added it to your system. The blue colors indicate what you are programming. In this case, I'm programming button 2, and I can actually set it to a lights off mode, or in this case, I am selecting a scene. I want it to choose a scene or enable a scene when I press button 2 on the tap. So I've just set that here, and hitting the check mark saves that information so that now when I press the second button, that scene will load. And here's the Hue app in action. Button 3 I had previously set to off. Button 1 is my all on, like a light switch. Button 2 is a dim setting. This is a previous video I captured. And button 4 is programmed to some unfinished theme that I was working on. So let's take a look at how that compares to the Hue Dimmer. The first thing you'll notice is that the Hue Dimmer is a lot thinner than the Hue Tap. This is due to the fact that it uses a CR2450 coin cell battery. It also has 2 neodymium magnets on the back wall plate and 2 holes for screw mounting options. The neodymium magnets perform double duty here, allowing you to mount the wall plate to a metallic object and effortlessly remove and replace the remote control element. Like the Tap, the Dimmer has 4 buttons, an on and off, and a increase and decrease dim setting. Now that's where things are different. Because it uses a battery, this thing is capable of actually allowing you to dim lights. And that's a really important thing to understand and the key differentiator between these two products, so I want to take a moment to go over them a little more carefully. So the Hue Tap has 4 buttons, and you can program the 4 buttons to light up your room in 4 different ways, 4 different scenes, right? And so if you have a red, a blue, a green, a yellow scene, those are your 4 pre-programmed options here. When you press the corresponding button, your room will light up that way. That's it. That's what this thing does. The Tap, on the other hand, this guy doesn't care what your room is set to. So if you have it set to green and you turn the lights off and then back on, they're going to be green again. You didn't program this to turn on green. All this knows is whatever the room is set to, turn that on. So again, if you've now programmed it through your phone to be an orange room, you can actually turn this off, turn it back on, it'll be orange. All right, let's see that in action. I've programmed this room, not the dimmer switch, but this room to be this assortment of colors. Actually, my daughter programmed this. The dimmer switch doesn't know or care how the rooms are set. All it knows is when I press off to turn the lights off, and when I press on to turn all the lights on. Also, when I press the dim down button to lower the intensity of those bulbs, and when I increase the dim to increase the intensity of those lights, that's all it knows. So which switch is right for you? Let's take a look. They're both wall mountable and they both have 4 buttons. However, the Tap is thicker than the Dimmer, and the Tap has no battery where the Dimmer does have a battery. You can program 4 different scenes in the Tap. where the dimmer can control essentially an infinite number of scenes. The Tap costs $59.99 on Amazon. The dimmer costs $24.99 on Amazon. At the end of the day, it all comes down to, do you want 4 scenes locked and loaded and ready to go at the press of a button, or the ability to control whatever scene is currently running? Personally, I like the price point of the dimmer. $24.99 is hard to beat. For that price, you can get 2 and have money left over compared to the price of the Tap. I also like the familiar form factor. This almost looks like a light switch, and it behaves like a light switch, so it's intuitive to anyone who comes to my house. Anyway, I hope I've helped clarify the differences between these two products. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have questions or comments, leave them below. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.